So this is me at 13 years old with my grandma at my 6th grade graduation. Shy, introverted, and completely hopeless with women. I couldn't even say hi to a girl. And this is me 10 years later, able to walk up to a girl anywhere, anytime, in any city without knowing her, start a conversation, and take her on a date. And the crazy thing is, nothing changed about me magically. I didn't become taller, I didn't suddenly get better genetics, I didn't wake up confident one day. The only thing I did, I started talking to women, thousands of women, complete strangers, because before that, my dating life was honestly painful. As a teenager, I had massive crushes and I couldn't even open my mouth. One girl said hi to me once and I literally froze. Another crush knew that I liked her and ended up asking me for money, and I gave it to her. That's how little self respect I had back then. So when I say I started from zero, I really mean zero. So in this video, I want to break down the 4 biggest ways that talking to thousands of women completely changed my life and how it can change your life too. The first way talking to thousands of women changed my life, I lost my virginity. When I started this whole process, 0 dates, I never kissed a girl, I was shy, I was awkward, I was a virgin. That was my starting point. And then little by little, I started going out. I started chipping away at it. I got slightly more confident. I started landing a few numbers and then a few dates. And eventually then from those dates came my first sexual experiences. And honestly, even before sex, just the first kiss was just so insane for me. I still remember it very clearly. I think I was 18 or 19 years old, and she was super attractive woman around 30 years old. And we were kissing at like 5 a.m. in the morning outside some bar. And I remember standing there thinking, this feels like a movie. I genuinely couldn't believe it was happening to me. I never imagined that a girl would kiss me, let alone a girl like that, someone that I found attractive. Now, she ghosted me the next day, by the way, but that didn't matter at all. I was on like seventh heaven. For me, this moment itself alone completely changed how I see myself. It proved something that I never believed before, that I was capable of this, that it wasn't just reserved for some other special guys, that it could actually happen to me. The second big way this changed my life was that I actually got a girlfriend. So I started cold approaching women when I was around 17, and then at 19, I moved to England to study engineering at a university. And our course had around 100 people, and out of those 100 people, there were like 10 or 15 women. So mostly guys, like a typical engineering course. And then there was this one girl from Spain who was really attractive. And now here's the most important part. For about 2 years before that, I'd already been going out, talking to women, working on my social skills, building confidence. And when I finally met this girl, I was different than I would have been before. I was able to show intent in a calm, confident way. I wasn't needy. I wasn't scared to make a move. I wasn't overthinking everything. And because of that, she actually invited me to a party. At that party, I went for it. I made my move and we hooked up. And then it didn't just happen once, it happened again and again and again over the next few months. And then without forcing anything, without me trying to lock something down, I ended up in a relationship with a girl from my own course. And that would have never happened before. Never. Before that, I'd been in classes with many attractive women in my life and I never did anything. I just stayed quiet. I let those opportunities pass. But this time, it was different. And that came directly as a result from cold approach and talking to women in real life. And yeah, getting a girlfriend is one thing, but what mattered even more was everything that came with it. I learned about relationships. I learned about communication, about conflict resolution, about love, about myself. And we were together for around 6 to 7 years. That was my first real relationship, my first real love. And it was a great one, a healthy one, something I'm genuinely grateful for. The third way talking to 1,000 women changed my life is that it literally gave me a career. Because of approaching women, I had to learn how to deal with rejection. I had to learn how to deal with anxiety. I had to learn how to start conversations with people I didn't know. As it turns out, there's a profession where those exact skills are required every single day. Sales. Sales is basically approaching people, starting conversations, handling rejection, staying grounded and not taking things personally. And for most people, they simply cannot do it because they have too much anxiety. But because I had already trained those skills in real life approaching women I didn't know, I was like, okay, I can actually do this. So I started my sales journey and eventually it turned into a real career. I was able to land remote jobs in tech sales, selling technology, working for companies online, making a very solid salary. And that gave me something I'd never thought I had before. Freedom. I could work literally from anywhere. I could travel. I could live in different countries. Because approaching women changed my life so much socially and romantically, I started thinking, maybe these skills can also change my life financially. And the funny thing is that it did. I found a path where I could make money on my own terms, not stuck in an office, not tied to one place, just using my ability to communicate, to handle pressure, to talk to people. And when I look back, it's kind of crazy. I was always the shy kid growing up. At family gatherings, I would sit quietly. I couldn't start conversations. I was scared to talk to people. And then fast forward a few years, I'm cold calling strangers, pitching, presenting, handling objections, closing deals. And all of that came from the same root skill, learning how to approach people, learning how to deal with fear, learning how to open your mouth even when you feel uncomfortable. And that only happened because years earlier, I'd forced myself to go out to talk to women when I was petrified. And that's why I always say this skill doesn't just affect your dating life, it bleeds into literally everything else into your life. Finally, the fourth way talking to 1,000 women changed my life, and honestly, this is the most important one, is that it gave me a real self-esteem. Before I started all of this, I didn't like myself. I generally thought I wasn't enough. I thought I couldn't do hard things. I thought I wasn't capable. And then things started to snowball. First, I was able to approach a girl, then to give her a compliment, then getting a number, then getting a date, kiss, sex, then a relationship, then a really good relationship. And at the same time, my career started changing. I started doing things I never thought I could do, traveling, living in different countries, working remotely, being independent, handling pressure, solving problems on my own. And at some point, I remember thinking, wow, I can actually handle a lot. Way more than I thought. Other people started reacting to that too. They would ask me things like, how can you talk to strangers like that? How can you just move to another country where you don't know the language? How are you so comfortable doing uncomfortable things? And that's where everything clicked. I learned to rely on myself. I learned to problem solve. I learned to push through fear and discomfort instead of avoiding it. And because I kept doing that, again and again and again, I developed this deep sense of trust in myself. Like no matter what happens, I'll figure it out. And that's real self-esteem. A lot of people hate themselves, even if they don't say it out loud. And the reason for their hate is simple. They constantly give in to their fear. They avoid doing things they know they should do. And every time they do that, it chips away at their self-esteem. And that used to be me. But now I actually like myself a lot. Not because I'm perfect, but because I'm the kind of guy that steps into difficult situations instead of running away from them. I can genuinely say that I'm proud of myself. And that feeling is worth way more than everything else. And going through this process can give you the same exact thing. Yes, it can give you romantic experiences. Yes, it can give you social skills you can use in your work. But more important than that, it can give you a strong, grounded sense of self-esteem that carries over into literally every other part of your life. But you actually have to do the work and you have to follow the process. And if you want to go through this process in a structured way with guidance, instead of figuring out alone over 12 years like I did, then my one-on-one mentorship might be interesting for you. I work with guys all over the world, mostly technical and analytical guys, to help them improve their dating lives, build real social skills, get dates with amazing women, and most importantly, build solid self-esteem that changes everything.